I want to give over the Soda Yisoides, which is a very important in the Kiddush. The Alter Rebbe a new Kiddush, not a Kiddush, a whole gebo, a whole binyan of the Hilchas of Nair Shabbos. I decided to talk about it because last week was Kinnis HaShlichos. So all the women went to all the shluchas went to the Kinnis. So the man stayed home at home. And I got probably almost 10 shluchim called the same question. I'm staying home with my family. I have a daughter which sins left. Do I need to sin or not? She's sinning already. I have 5 daughters, 5 left on the table. Do I need to sin or don't I need to sin? What should I do? And the answer is yes, you have to sin left. Your children's sin then has nothing to do with your sin and adrabah. But that's my husband why the children could sin and make a bracha, which it has a husband, which I had a whole arichas another time. We're going to mention it a little bit. But akapunam, you don't get potter with them with the kinder sin. With sin, and you make a bracha. Normally, you make a bracha. Why is it in the kinder? So let me put down a little bit the concept of the Hilchas Nair Shabbos according to the Alter Rebbe to Sugelen Zayir Atif in the Kiddush and Yisroel's Ding Kiddush and all the people who learn Reis Samach Gimel and Hilchas Shabbos have a lot of issues with halachas. How to, once you get the Yisroel and Alter Rebbe, everything falls into place very nice. And Machal, it's kedai to have the Yisroel, because once you have the Yisroel, a lot of things you won't ask when you have a question in Hilchas Nair Shabbos. So the Alter Rebbe writes, starts off like this. Again, Simar Reish Samach Gimel, Sif Aleph. Tikni Chachomem, Shi'ir Lechol Udam, Chazal made that Tukni. It's one of the 7 mitzvahs of Mitzvahs Esed Rabunan. We know that there's 7 mitzvahs. Taryag Mitzvahs Deraisa, the Alter Rebbe brings it down in Tanya, and all the 7 mitzvahs of the Rabunan. Zusammen is Tuf Reish Chuf, 612, Tarach. Tarach Hamid the Neure, the Alter Rebbe brings it down. What is the 7 mitzvahs in Shtagaya? But one of the mitzvahs is Ner Shabbos and Ner Chanukah. Ner Shabbos is one of the mitzvahs. Chiyuvi is mitzvahs Esed the Rabunan from Tzina Lecht. Zoekt them the Alter Rebbe the Loshen like this. Tikni Chachumim Shi'il Chal Odom Ner Doirik B'Shabbos. B'Chol Chayde V'Chayde. The Chazal said every room which you are going, you have to have has to be light. Shehoylech Sham. Why? Mitnei Shalom Bais. If it's going to be dark, you're going to trip. Why didn't you put on light? Why didn't you put on a light? So there's no shul abais. You know, when something happens in the
why do you need your shoe?
Why do you leave your shoe? Oh. So the kid said, what Chazal said, I want it should be light in every room which you're going to use. You shouldn't trip. And therefore, is a mitzvah, achiv, you have to sin licht. That's the erste heilig. Shleikushel ba'ayz va'even. You shouldn't trip on ba'ayz va'even. Then the Alter Rebbe says another mamshech. The chayev kol odom is a separate chayev kol odom kisheoichel sidas halayla laochla eis oraner. There's a separate halacha that you have to eat Shabbos. The Shabbos Suda has to be laor haner. Has to be laor haner. Why? That's not because shlo yikushel. That's shlo shezeh b'chal oinik Shabbos. It's a oinik Shabbos to eat when it's light. The more light, the better. Today is vice versa. Krimmeveld, oil, mufragisi. Nice, fancy diners is dark. But amoli givein, the lighter, the better. It's a startne guy la luche de nekide. The more light you have by the Shabbos, you see, Shabbos is more oinik Shabbos. The ikir mitzvahs at Lukas Nairas, he never shall oichel eslim. The main mitzvah at Lukas Nairas is the light, the licht which you sinned by eating. What does that mean, the ikir? That means there's another halach which Alter brings down. If a person is poor, he has no money, let's say he has $5, he can either buy Kiddush wine or he could buy a licht. You have to buy a licht before you buy Kiddush. But that's only the 2 licht which you will eat. If you need to buy licht also because you have a room which you're going to use in Shloi Kushel, of them in Shukan Chiv, Kiddush is koitem. So that's the subs the Alter Rebbe like to do. So let's just a minute explain what did he do say in Chilas Masbazan. That means in Eire Shabbos there's 2 nikidas. There's two nikidas. One is a kim v'asai, you got to do it, and one is a shlili digezach. What does it mean shlili? You don't need be'etim to put on licht. It is only don't want you should trip. So automatically, I want it should be light. Now, if you could you have, today's day, you have light, the light is on. So you have a bedroom, which you're going to use, you're going to take out clothing over there, or whatever it should be, and you have the light is on, you don't need the light left. Because it's only shlo yikush ba'etz ve'oy even. If you're not in a matzah shlo yikush because you have something that's light, or sometimes it comes in light from the street, or you have a toilet in that room, and you could open that, and the toilet has a light. Whatever you could avoid that you shouldn't trip, that's nicht sin mitzadem. Well, because it's only shlili die gesagt that you shouldn't trip. If you have light which you don't trip, then it's fine. Then there's another thing which Chazal say, no, I want you should eat Shabbos Seder. You should eat Bekim Vasai, you have to put it on left. Ich want to eat. The only Shabbos you should have light. Now Chazal gave this a mitzvah for every person. That means a person became bar mitzvah, bas mitzvah, bar mitzvah has this chiyuv. That means it's a choyves a gif and a choyves a bayis. That means the house has to have light because shlo yikushel, and also where you eat you should have light. Then there's also a choyves a gif. Since they wanted it should be light when you eat, you shouldn't trip. Where you eat and when you should trip. That means a choyves, so every person has this choyv. Say we have a choyv to put on film, you have to have a heilige Shabbos lecht. Now, Kim the Alter Rebbe and Azuk the Barazoi. So why don't all the children and all the boys sin lecht? The answer is, they are bechal b'nei b'ayse. So I said, no, this is like of a b'nei and they become nifter from their mother. That means once the mother lights candles, automatically the daughter, the boys, everybody with nifter, he's a heilig b'chal b'nei b'ayse, and v'bal he's a heilig b'nei b'ayse, it's as if it's in lecht. Therefore, if you have a klal b'nei b'ayse, technically, if a young man goes to his parents for Shabbos and he's there and he sleeps over there, technically he or his wife, nobody has to sin lecht. He's a heilig from b'nei b'ayse. Technically, when a person goes to his in-laws or to his parents, no, the wife doesn't have to sin lecht. Why does she sin lecht? The B'Jushir says, Kibli alayim. The wife, the women, accepted on them the mitzvah. Therefore, their kili zich masalek. They don't want to be chal b'nai b'ayis, and therefore they could make a brach. Which that's basically also the answer. How could the children, the girls, sin? Our girls, how could they sin? They're chaylik from b'nai b'ayis. If Matzavei gestellt as the parents sin, and we're all of chaylik b'nai b'ayis, we get nifter. How could you make a brach? Which a lot of contemporary poskim went out against the Alter Rebbe because of this. We can make a bracha. We don't sin the lecht, no problem. Sin we from the lecht, but how can you make a bracha? But the answer is to this question that in basically Shtayte schon in Shem Ari, which I found, it's a big mitzvah for me was when I found it. He says there's such a thing as, so by other chassidim I have an answer always. When they came to me with this question, I says there are many chassidim, some rabbis, which the wife sins in the house, Shabbos candles, and the husband has a svurim zimmer, a study room, and the Rebbe sins in the study room with a brocha, which mitzvah can sin. The answer is, you come to the Shamari has a concept that you can be mesalig yourself. Because mesalig zan, that means I am nifter because I'm an abayis. Ich will sich mesalig zan, ich will nicht yoyte zan mit my mama's licht, or a man can make a brocha. That's the heter, the sibah why you can do such thing. That's the heter of all the women which go to the in-laws, which is by the Litvish order. They go to the in-laws, they make a bracha. Now they answer because the Mishparir holds it's not enough one Shabbos. You have to go. We go like Chanukah. Chanukah the loch is if you go one night, you don't get nifter because of B'nai Bais. Only if you go for all Chanukah. The Mishparir says also that when are you a B'nai Bais? Only when you're all the Shabbos. That means a person which is every Shabbos by his parents. So the Litvish, I cannot tell them that how could your wife sin because they will say we only can for a Shabbos. But the Alter Rebbe, which passes even one Shabbos, and the Chassidim go according most of the Chassidim go according to the Alter Rebbe. So how can you sin when you go to your in-laws? Al korchim is unkim to the that you bistich masalik. Ma'ile bistich masalik. Either the kenef the ma'ile loch masalik zan, and therefore she can make a bracha. That's the concept of the heter of making a bracha. Okay.
The Litvish don't have to hold the Alter Rebbe for me to hold like the Alter Rebbe, meaning I tell them I hold like the Alter Rebbe. This is the Alter Rebbe shit. What's the?
Nein, verkehrt. Ja, aber nein, verkehrt. Ob der halt wie der Alter Rebbe ist das Problem. Because you're then a part of my bias. If you have a part of my bias, how could you tin? How could you do a tin when she's part of my bias? How could you tin when you go to an in-laws when you are part of the my bias of your parents? Verkeerd, the kash is valde halt with alter hebben.
So therefore, the answer
So
is
me-
the alter Rebbe holds that you misalik.
Nein, the alter hebben zoekt daarvoor. Alter hebben dan gezegd. De shamari is ook deze soort. Ik ben mazman lo, de shamari is geschmack de alter hebben.
According to the alter
According to the alter hebben is
you
dat een
shouldn't
problem.
make
Je
a
should make a bruch. The teretz is, you do some concept as zich masalik zijn. In my mind, that's the head. Fine. Now, let me.
When do we fulfill the mitzvah?
Oh, so let's get now to this. So what's the word
There
jetzt?
sagt that the alter holds this.
Lass mich fertig. Lass mich. Jetzt haben wir schon so viel Zeit. Wenn ich habe Antal, dann muss...
Dit is nog geder.
What?
Dit is nog geder.
Oh, der ist noch heute, aber können wir mal sagen. Okay. Jetzt also, jetzt the kids said wurden is so. So basically, is a choiv of every person to zindlecht. It's a choiv as gavra. Was der immer weggestellt, who should do the lecht? Rosh Habayis. Who should zin the lecht? Rosh Habayis. Who's the Rosh Habayis in a house? Sorry for all the feminists. Who's the Rosh Habayis in the house? The husband. So basically, mitzad halucha, the husband has to. I always say, America is a free country. Everybody is entitled to do what his wife tells him. Has the right to do. Akapunam, let me tell you again. The choiv is on the husband. The husband is the Baal Habayis, and he has to sin lecht. Why does the wife sin? Steitchen in the Rambam, two reasons. One reason is because she's at home. When is the time? Lecht in the husband, once upon a time, they used to come work always, the whole side of the Gemara, till they came, or they were busy, they were in mikveh, they were showering. The wife is always at time. So because of the Rambam at the time, she should sin. One reason. Second reason is because since other Chava gave fruit for a Udem Barishan, and Kuvadem, he's nigz gewar misa, he calls a chalus shaloilam, since she has to be mesaken. Naire Shabbos is a tikken verkehrt eitzadas, so therefore hat man sich weggestellt auf der Frau, sucht der Alter Rebbe, amor die gesagt, der Alter Rebbe ist achidisch. She zins beschliches habal. That means nicht im Schat ist, man hat gegeben the mitzvah auf ihr. Man hat gegeben the mitzvah an the husband. He is the balabais. Since he is the balabais, he has to sin, but Chazal haben weggestellt, when the wife is there, she should sin beschliches habal. Beschliches habal. That means when she sins, she's a schlich von der Baal. Gibt du was amordige Sach, that every time when the wife sins, she sins beschliches habal. Okay. Now since, we're going to get to this point. Now since there's a choives gavra on every person, so you could fulfill this mitzvah by sinning by the table. You could fulfill the mitzvah by going into, you have a room, a bedroom, or any room which you're going to use, and shloi kushel, and you make a broch on it. That's also a chalik fulfillment of the mitzvah. That means if you have, let's say, you have already a left on the room, in the dining room. You want to sin in your bedroom, you can sin over there, no problem. Verkeerd. Ob es ist a chayder miyichet, it's gedayed over there to sin. If a person has no chayder miyichet, he doesn't have a room, so he has no bias, and he is not a chaylik from my bias of where he eats. Like for instance, a person eats in a hotel room, in a hotel. So from one hand, he can eat other people, and there's light over there. Yeah, but he pays for his meal himself. He pays for his meal for himself. He doesn't have a chayder miyichet. It doesn't happen because automatically you have a hotel room, it's chayder miyichet. But if you don't have a chayder miyichet, and you're not chaylik for papa and abayis, and there is light already when you see them. So what do? But since you have a choives gavra, you have to sin. Chazal gave another option. Give a penny, buy off a little bit of the oil from the balabos, or he could give you a maton, the same thing. You makna the balabos, makna a little bit of oil or a candle. So when he sins, you are part of the sinden of the statusbeprita. That's called the statusbeprita. So there's three. Huh?
Why can't he light himself?
Because there is light already in his. He doesn't have chayder miyichet. And
It's not his deal. Why can't I light himself? My fault.
besides it's had yochiv.
The Chavis Gavra.
The chodes gavrik. Oh, als Teufels eure. Okay, ich hallo kommen zu den Kindern noch a minute. Well, give a minute. So there's two ways how you can be yoytze this mitzvah. Sending by where you eat. Sending when you in a cheder michid when it's dark. Because once you have light, you can't do it anymore. Third one, if you can't, but other two ways doesn't work, you start with beprite. That's as if you did it a cheder. You did a cheder. Now, of the Indian of shleikushel, as I mentioned before, is a shlilis di gezach. Chazal did not want that you should trip when it's dark. So if there is light over there already, you cannot sin and make a brach because there is light already. So, for instance, if you are staying in a room with a room which you have someone over there, yeah, and there's light, or again there's light, whatever it should be, there's light, then you cannot sin in that room. There's no such thing as sinning another lech, because once you have any light, you are not going to fall anymore. So you can not sin. By dining room, if a person sinned already, I could sin another set. Why? Why can I sin another set? Because there's a concept, the Mechaber doesn't agree with it, the Yosef, but the Remove passes like this, Amaril, with andere plätzen. It's a high concept as Toisves Eure. Since the mitzvah is Oinig Shabbos, there should be more light where you eat, and the more light, the more the merrier. So therefore, whenever the place where you eat, you could add on light. And that's the reason why when there's a couple of people in one dining room, if it's a place where you eat, you could sin over there too. If it's not a place where you eat, once there is light over there, it's a dark room. Once somebody sinned, you cannot sin anymore there. With a broch kemiffen. But, zoek de alte Rebbe noch a chiddish. A plaats wie is megreitun essen, you prepare food, is also like a place where you food, and you could add on. So, Homer is do a heter, as b'shaz in kitchen or in dining room, you can add on. Other rooms, or a place where you don't eat, once you have a light, you cannot add on lecht. Wie gab den afgemen? Wie gab den afgemen? Which I constantly say it. When by mir mismelde spreche gezogen months, constantly, I have to tell it over here too. The problem goes, where it's one time a year was a big problem. It comes Yom Kippur, which you don't eat in dining room. What do? You have 3 children. So what do? Now people have a baby, which you prefer a baby bottle, that's a machaya. Because once, so if you prepare a baby bottle in the kitchen, I say for all the people you have children, this week you would sin. One person could sin in the dining room if it's dark. If you don't have the lights on. If you have the lights on, you can't. But all other children should sin where you are, where you prepare a bottle, because so is the Alter Rebbe. The Alter Rebbe both is of Shamas has Tabas Medrash, then you can Toifes Oiris ba Mukem Achila, Oishim Shtamshim Oya in Yunachila. So that's the hatter. If you don't have such a thing, you have to make every child should sin in a separate room. There's no such thing as Toifes Oira. What?
With the light off.
With the light off. With the light off.
It's a pretty dark house.
What?
You can turn the light on afterwards.
Huh?
After the light is on.
Ich will kommen am Netz zu den Kindern. What?
Every Kippur, you need to turn on the time. You have to light the light off.
Yeah, you have to light off, yeah.
Is it only more children or the first woman also?
No, one because it's dark. Now he brought up a nice thing. As you can see them after the light. It's a great shal of them. But Lamasa, when could you do it? If you close the light and you open it when you're going to tzin lech lekuvet Shabbos Kodesh, and then it's in the lech, or you open it, the husband opens it afterwards lekuvet Shabbos Kodesh, then the light is ocht achaylik lekuvet Shabbos. The light gives lekuvet Shabbos, and that's the same thing which I answer people in hospitals. Have hospitals that are already tzin lech. So the women are osmensch. What should I do? I'm not sinning lecht. Now, if you look at Shechanurach says, why does the husband sin? Why do you add on a lecht when you have a child? There's 2 reasons. One reason is another nachanashuma you put on a lecht. One reason is because usually the wife was in the hospital, and over there you couldn't sin. So she didn't sin. Dach Mois was on a lecht. Also they start in the posken. But the master they go crazy. So what do you do? So the answer is, shut the light in your room, open the Lekuvet Shabbos. There are poskim which say you can make a bracha on light when you open Lekuvet Shabbos, at least when it's not this LED bulbs, if it's regular bulbs. Verkehrt, du wirst halten, als viele Wessen LED dachts mir auch. Ich suche, dass man so schwach kabrucha in hospital Zindes Luke of Shabbos, and at least the Makam go in the mitzvah. So, going back to his Shala, if it's Yom Kippur, the first person which sins in the dining room should close the light and should open the light, and right afterwards sin the lech, and the bracha goes on both. Then must do the aitza. But the second child, what do you do with the second child? Second child is the problem. It's where you have to eat a place where basically you are going to use for food. That's the best thing. If you don't have an option, then go in a bedroom and put tzindlecht. And if you have a problem, you need the light because you want to diaper the child or whatever it should be, do again what Anna said. Close the light, open the light together when you're sending. So basically, but you have to understand, mechanic sin in the dining room like you do every Shabbos. Everybody sins together because then you have a problem of toifus oira.
If you do it all at the same time. Like,
The what?
how about if you do it all at the same time?
The minute was einer gets sin. What does that mean? How does it work? Kids believe was the Rebbe will that the child should sin before. Also a brilliant sibba. Why? Weil damals ist sich masalik. Ob the mama schon get sin, the kannst sich schon masalik sein. There's a lot to talk. An Irish object you can talk a lot. But ich will zurück mit den Kindern.
This one, Chris, why not prepare the bottle that week in the dining room?
The what?
You prepared the bottle.
Yeah, this you okay. This you could also do. This you could also do.
salmon
Exactly.
doesn't help you.
The same thing. What?
salmon doesn't-
No. I would say another thing. People go to their in-laws for a meal and they come home. Yeah, so they don't eat at home. So if you're going to eat, if you're going to come home and you're going to send left and you have the light on, what are you going to do? The light is on. In the morning you eat in the dining room. It's in at night in the lech. But Lamas, was gescheit? Die erst nicht dort. Du hast die kennst in Lecht. Erst nicht dort. So the answer is, I always say, come home after, make a butter, buy a bag of potato chips or whatever. Sit down and eat something. Drink a tea. Is a mukamachile. Kann man schon zinn. Okay, du sit in the kids at Wurm jetzt. Jetzt bin ich noch hasla. So the alter Rebbe. Always the husband is the choiv, and the wife sind beschliches from the husband. Sie ist ihr Schlich. Therefore,
Is that why he sets up the candles?
the what?
That's why he sets up the candles for her? He's Masada the...
No, das ist eine andere Sache. Das ist eine andere Kid. Again, an Irish Shabbos is a long, maybe one day we'll go over here, an Irish Shabbos, after Shabbos. I can put him along, it's the kid, yes, it's so. It's in beschliches. What happens when the husband is home and the wife is not home and she sins in kindes shliches or whatever she is? Now does she sin b'shliches from the husband? Does she sin the shliches of the husband? She doesn't sin the shliches of the husband. Who is the balabais now? He's the balabais, and the wife.
Now.
The wife.
So before he wasn't.
Exactly. So now he has. You know what? Before I go, I want to go a step further. Alter Rebbe sagt a größer Chiddush in Sugrayim, which the whole world goes bezuga. Who's will the Alter Rebbe mit dem? The Yankel Bloy has a cipher on Irish Shabbos. Like the Saran, aber ganz long is the Chosh Mishpat because he was a Chosh Mishpat. But that's right, the Chosh Mishpat. Alter Rebbe says, if the husband goes away for Shabbos and the wife stays home with the children, so now if the husband stays at home and the wife goes away, Mikra, then she doesn't have to sin. Because the husband sins, she's been is a heilig from the balabos. She doesn't have to. Legally doesn't have to sin. But again, don't tell it for the women; they're not gonna. It's mamayle kibli align. But if the husband is not home, the wife is home, she sins left, and the husband is out of town. Yeah. Now, does the wife sin b'shlich as the husband? Who's the balabais now? For real. The wife. When the husband and the wife are together, is the Rosh Hashanah is the husband. She sins b'shlichas. So therefore, if the husband wants to sin in his room, he can't mach kabrucha. No, but the head of the silik. But he can't mach kabrucha because you made a bracha already through your wife. But when the husband is out of town and the wife sins, what's then? Wieso sehr yoitze the mitzvah? Zug the Alter Rebbe, if the wife sins benayres shelabal, the candles belongs to the husband, that's fine. Practical, yeah. A husband goes in China for business, the wife moves in to his mother. Yeah? To in-laws, mother, whatever. She sins left. Why? Because, she wants, the husband doesn't sin. Usually when the husband goes away, the husband goes to the oil. Any of you sin by the oil? You don't sin. Why don't you sin by the oil? Because your wife, so to speak, sins by you. Zug the Alter Rebbe, it's only if the candles belong to you. Now, usually if candles belong to you, it's not a problem. So usually when you go to the oil, your wife stays at home, you have no problem because the candles belong to you. She sins automatically bis yoitza. But what is if she goes to her parents and the parents give her a lecht? She doesn't. The husband doesn't sin. The wife doesn't sin. The husband is yoitza again mitzvahs nahar Shabbos. Kim the Alter Rebbe zog, she has to sin b'mamoyne shalabal, b'nahar shalabal.
Why can't you just say?
So why do I do? Whenever I went away, or I went away, and my wife went to her parents, I told her, you take the lech from the house. Now you can also ask your mother, give me a matana. That's also good.
Can I give a proof to Abraham and say, you like for me over here?
They would say, yeah, if somebody likes, cast the game, yeah, you can do that. But did you do it? Did you do it?
1 second. If you go to the aisle, everybody's there and there's already light. You can't light out anyways.
That's right. So he asked, give a prita. That's what you can do. You could prita.
There's only one person can light there.
No, were you eating?
Aber ein Geist bestimmt nicht als Silik. Aber schon geschmissen, man geht mit der Masse. You have to come with the Silik. If not, how could you sin bechral? Mist unkimt die other Silik. This was gesagt. The people don't realize that all of some problems with Lubavitch sinning of the girls happen nicht, they have the same problem. Ich hab's noch mal, ich gehe the Litzvish, was ich gehe mit dem Stiberieren. Aber alle gesehen haben dasselbe Problem. Mist unkimt die Silik. Jetzt, verstehst? Jetzt so. So meine kommt der Alter Rebbe, da moide Gechirisch. Hast du wie Schlechis של הבעל, בניירה של הבעל. Versteht man sich, was der Alter Rebbe gewollt. Da schon gibt sich Chosh Mishpat, der geht der ganze in Chosh Mishpat. Ich kenne Chosh Mishpat. Very simple, if you get the concept of the Alter Rebbe Schitte, verstehst du exactly. Because the Alter Rebbe gesagt, he said, the husband, the wife is beschliches about. Now, let's go to our Shala. The husband is at home. The wife is by Kinnas Ashliches. Yeah? Who has to sin? On whom does the chiv to sin? The husband. The Meidl hat am Zachiv to sin. And when the Meidl sin, how does it work?
Can't he make her a shliach same as he would make his wife a shliach?
The wife is ishtiki gifoy. The daughter makes it. Yeah, she's making, she's still sinning. But how does the Baal, how does the father get nifter Nair Shabbos? His Nair Shabbos is on the Shirtz again. But my living in them.
You can't make the daughter a shliach?
Nochmal, kannst machen Schlichen, was ist sitten aus der eigenen Chöi, was machen Schlich. The wife geht es, Chazal haben es weggestellt, that automatically she sins beschlechise von der Baal. Also wenn man weggestellt Nair Shabbos, as a Chöi of the Baal Abayis, and the wife does beschlechise. When it comes to the daughter, davon kommt sie het of a silik, fine. But her hat Achiev.
So it's not a standard shliach.
It's not a standard shlich. It's the Gif shlich.
Why can't I say it's not lit?
It's what
It's
says
not
that.
lighting with my candles. Why doesn't that work also?
Noch einmal. The status beprite is beschas wenn die bist da weg. In die kannst dich hast da Eize für den Status beprite. Aber wenn die bist dabei dabei, das da kauft es hin. Hast da auf dem bei du da kauft es hin. Sie da kauft. Muss es mit da kauft. Bei Meile, a viele der Dore sind leicht. Was geht mir gut der Dore sind leicht. Sie sind von ihr hier, weil sie sagt klein. Fragt nach, dass sie sagt Tana. Aber a viele sagen Gedeule. Ihre ganze Sinn ist, weil sie sind für sich. Sie sich besallig von sagen. Aber sagen, wir noch nicht du. Sagen, wir noch nicht du. Dafür sind leicht. Und macht er Brüche. In Beeizen, bei Ikeradin, darf der Frau nicht sind, weil können so schliches. Bei Ikeradin. Weil sie sinnen, sie wird nifter, sie sagt, der Mann wird nicht kein Beis von der Frau. Die Frau ist ein Heilig von der Mann. So bei Meile, beschaß wenn der Husband sind left in the home, ist mir Ikeradin, darf sie nicht sinnen. Nur von wo sind sie ja mit der Brüche, wieder mit derselben Kinder, mit Silik. Wenn wir so kommen mit der Silik Seide, weil sie schon jötzig mit der Husband. Pink wie der Husband kann nicht sinnen, mit der Brüche, wenn sitzt in seinem Zimmer, when he's home together with his wife, and the wife made a Brüche in the dining room. The husband cannot sin, because you made a bracha already through your wife. The wife cannot make a bracha through the husband. if the husband sins in at home and she's whatever she is, she can make a bruch big radin. Mist auch kommen zu silik. Hab's the kinder?
The chiyuv or the house?
The chiyuv is on the bias, and who the bias? The Rosh Habayis.
Why is she
So
allowed
why
to
do,
make a bracha?
So
one second.
masalik.
So why don't Bachar make light candles in camp?
What do you mean? Like they are not chaylik in the Bnei Bayis. If their parents someone gets in, then it's a nifter automatic.
Even though they're away?
Even though there's a way. Girls go to seminary.
They all like
Ich
candles.
glaube, es ist nicht, weil so mein eigenes Zimmer. Aber es ist nicht so, mach du, kipp ich an Machloikes, if there's a way for a long period of time or not. So, is du es halt, tak, in der Svardische Welt, if they're away for a long period of time, then wenn sie aus Bnei Bayis. But in the Shivas, tak, one person sins. One
But only
person
one
sins.
person.
But es ist nicht eine Gaia. Aber jeder hat noch heilig mit der Recht.
They take from your tuition and they
Now,
put it
because
into
what?
I go on to take a Sfardi family, give a Sfardi girl a lift.
Yeah.
She could like with a bracha now.
Du staan te Vadje. Du schreit te Vadje Yosef. De Vadje Yosef tanet. Die Geist machen mich zu Neshek. Die Geist für a Svardische Meidl zu zindern. Der Machaber sucht, ist noch so schön, dass Teus ist eure. How could she sind lecht bei der Dus? Teus ist eure. Wo ist der Rebbe geteen? A brilliant Sach. Hat der Rebbe gesagt, the children should sin before the mother. Eine von der Sachen. Die Mama kann sicher sin als Teus ist eure. Das ist nicht so pushen, aber Kapunam, der Rebbe gewollt noch eine Kida. Weil der Silik ist dann ein gitter Silik. Als es sind noch dem, ist sie schon nifte geworden. Kennst du, ich muss sagen, noch dem? Sind fahr dem, mit dem schreien sich muss sagen. Aber du schreit da war die Yosef. Die kannst nicht gehen von einer Svardische Meidl, sie soll zinnen lecht machen eine Bruch, wenn du bis Yosef halt damit tun ist. Kommt der Motchaliaui, und fragen für das, okay, weil ist schon mehr als Kentusi.
Ich hab doch gesagt, Kino, bis was, bis
Ja, es war dem allein, es weiß man, if anybody knows a little bit Halach in history, knows that Harav Avad Yosef, in blessed memory, was hat weggestellt, Eule shel Teure, und man darf ihm geben, the fullest credit, sei von seinen Gadlis in Teure, und sei, wo es legitim mit der Svardische Welt, hat er weggestellt in Teure. But what one thing which you made, which wasn't correct, and now that hires back, is gemacht Kili, that alle Svardim sind an derselbe, sind an the same, all of the same, and gemacht jeder geht mit dem Mechaber, Lod bis Yosef. It is not true. In Morocco, ich bin schon gefahren den ganzen mit der wie sie war gekommen zu Marokko, Motchaliauf, wie kommt der?
Marokko, und weil Yosef dann.
Baghdad, yeah, in Morocco, in Tunis, they didn't go exactly like the Mechaber, everything across the board. In Yemen, they always say Yemen, they go like the Rambam. Rebbe, ich kenne Yemen. I was there for Shabbos, ich kenne Yemen, in and out, I studied everything in Yemen. There was a big machloikes in Yemen, which is the Shvila Zaysim and the Kapach family. They wanted to go Rambam all the way. And the Shvila Zaysim, I'm talking about 150, 200 years ago, brought in a lot of Remu Sachen. So, what?
Dardaim, it's called the habit.
No. In the Gifa, is going to Dardaim. But in Svardim it's like huge Judaism. Svardim, Ashkenazim, Taiman, the in time Gifa there is like by the Ashkenazim, so the Litvische, Chasidische mit Lubavitcher. A Kapunim, Zirigaitz, den Kinder. So, Mamaila is a Sach an the Svardim, so the Svardim can auch ziehen. Aber ich verstehe es an den Kindern. Du verstehst, ob man geht wieder mit Chaber, haben sie ein Problem. Because to answer this question, haben sie ein Problem. So let's just sum up. The Kind said, wo ist. The husband sinned, lecht, wird jeder eine Nifter. How could a person sin lecht, a wife when she goes away? Sie geht sie mit Zatzilik. How could the daughter sin when the mother sins lecht? Sie geht sie mit Zatzilik. Wie sucht man, sie nimmt Zilik, weiß man, ich.
But she has to lay first.
Lekitchila. It's no lekitchila. Weil man kann sich mit Zalig sein, man kann sagen, ich will nicht heute sein, ich will noch nicht sein. Man kann sich ein einziges geben von dem. When the husband is at home, when husband or wife is at home, the wife sins, beschliches from the husband. Now, if the husband wants to sin separate in his Zimmer, he can only sin if sich masalik. Und wenn sich masalik, dann muss es nicht. Und der Silik ist ein schwerer Silik. It's much harder, because we name in Chabad, aber ich kann mich nicht, dass der Rebbe soll sin in seinem Zimmer, when in the at hose. It's queer as a Chernobyl let's do something.
A dark room also.
What?
You would have to light it in a dark room.
Or dark room, or if you eat something, then it could be a light room. Could be a light. If you eat something, again, come and ask.
If
if the mother's not home, wife
The
not
mother's
home,
home, the daughter can she yoytze zan. Nein. The husband has to sin with the bruch. The husband has to sin with the bruch.
before or after.
What? Oh, now you're going into a separate. Andere machloeks, some gaat machloeks na oren be iram of on this question. I had the shaila Rahman al-Islam from an alman. An alman asked me, my wife sent 15 left, and how much and what should I do? So ich habe geschrieben that you should send exactly as much as your wife, because she's ihr ganze 15 left again beschliches von dir. Bei meinem Leben gedem, das unhaltbar. My machitten so sagen, sind nicht stark, aber Chaim Gershon Steinmetz from Detroit, the Rosh from Detroit, he disagrees, make it clear, he disagrees with me, and he says that your cousin, first cousin, he says, no, Hagam ich sind beschlichisoi, aber wie steht das, ich muss unnehmen, I don't have to go with all the left. Okay. So
That was her problem.
That's an alma.
She wanted 15.
What?
That's the alma. What if she just went away? And the husband's
Kenneth
waiting at
Shluchim.
home. Kenneth Shluchim.
Oh.
They went alive, they went away.
Halt ich als dem Chollereise, aber davon sind die ganze Lecht.
Even though the wife's doing all the licht where she is,
Oh,
do all the...
yeah, why not? Begrijp, bij de Welt, de Rebbe halt nicht so,
Like
but
the
the
Paskim in Kingston.
but the Welt, ja, okay.
Ich gegangen mit Deutschen.
Ich halt das so. Ja, so mach leuk, ist gut.
Der Rav Alt ist der Schlichus an 15.
Ist alles beschliches. Weil adir, ich schat adir sind 15 Lecht.
Von der Schlichus allein.
Fine. Du stand der Etan, es ist der Schlich von das. Jeder legt so Tickets Mäuse gewesen, tits was ich. Aber ich ganz nicht los am Missig. Because ob the
By Hanukkah, you could say you could spend in places.
ich bin maskens du als ein Kanzer. Aber wenn sie so sich makabel sagen, sich sind on our own, ist eine Sache, aber sie sind die ganze Sache. Aber wie was wir so eine Kind davon gesucht, was ist you brought up 15
Tour all of them.
huh? Oh, das ist ein Machloikes. It's not a Machloikes. All the world, die ganze Welt, when a Frau goes on guest, she sins only 2 lech. Although in the home she sins 15, when she goes abroad, that means that my kabel gewinnt sind meistens an lech, nur bei so, nicht wenn man geht weg. Also ist in the whole world.
Including Lubavitch?
Oh, in Lubavitch is nicht the miniger so. And I was working very hard to understand. I know that the Lubavitch do not do it like this. Wie nimmt sich das? Maar getijsen. De Rebbe had etwas gezoekt. Wie had de Rebbe gezoekt? So when I wrote this cipher, I'm talking about 20 years ago, Heich Menachem was new, and Heich Menachem was in an area which, no Lubavitcher lived. The Lubavitcher shul was way, half an hour, I think it was an hour. But happens to be, a Yid is a rangemoved dort, an elderly Yid, a couple, moved in our area, started davening by us, a Lubavitcher Yid. His name was Smith. Sure. He was there for 1 year. He was 1 year and then he moved. And the reason why he was 1 year to tell me this story. He tells me he went into Yechidus for the Rebbe, and his wife tells for the Rebbe that she wants to add on licht. She wants to add on, I don't want it in 2 licht, I want it in more. 5 licht, whatever. So the Rebbe, there's but a problem. As they're going to gesterai, you're going to go away, you're going to go to someone's house, and it'll be uncomfortable. You'll ask 5 left. How will you deal with that? And you cannot not sin that because it's a Kabbalah. It's a Kabbalah Toiva. So it's not Kedai. The Rebbe tells him, don't take it because when you go away, you only have to sin 5 left or the 50 left. It's a Kabbalah. You cannot stop because you started. Then you so du aber sag ich schon, der Rebbe halt, as even when you go away, is du in a Kabbalah Toiva. Aber der Emerson ist immer Shimhu, kann ich sagen, weil das ich gemacht kann Tanai like Trille, as I only sin when I'm home. But if a Lubavitcher man decides when he starts to sin, and I look if my Kabbalah sin, I must say Tanai like when I have a child. But it's only when I'm home and when I'm out. Is der Rebbe auch Maske, was nicht kein Problem. Dort redt man as sieht, steist. Aber von anderer Seite, wo sie der Rebbe gegeben die Eize. So dort aber haben wir klar, als der Rebbe halt, as even when you go away, you should sin this. Aber die ganze Welt is only too licht. So just to sum up again, whenever your wife is beginning to shlichus or wherever he goes, she goes to Florida, a bisschen sich auszureden, auszusuchen an der Nerven, wherever she goes, a bisschen, she can use it. You stay with the children if it happens. I don't know how often it happens because, today's day, a man is a blob, 24 hours with his children is, atom bomb. But if it happens, then you have to tint. If you have a daughter who tints, you have to tint. Mach a brucha. I personally hold that you should tint all the lecht when you're home. And again, ich gehe jetzt noch zurück. Ob der Rebbe halt, du willst sogar sind noch gemacht von der Frau nicht für den Mann. Okay. Okay. I would say you should tint all the lecht. Again,
I don't say anything. I say all the
I see all the lecht. Chan Gersh Steinmetz. He holds that Yorash Shiva, okay. So he holds that it's enough to lecht,